Hi everyone and welcome to McCarthy Stadium in West Warwick, where this afternoon, under a bright sunshiny sky, the Wizards host the Knights of Central. I'm John Parenti with the play-by-play as we welcome you aboard to edition number 5 of our coverage of high school baseball and softball so far in this season. Wizards come in with a record of 3-1 after losing yesterday to Middletown. They are in 4th place in Division 2 in the Scholastic League. Behind front-running Middletown, second place East Greenwich, and third place Charahoe, who stands at 5-1. The Wizards 3-1. Central at 1-2 this year. The Knights have dropped games to St. Ray's and to Charahoe. They beat Burrville 7-6 in their league opener last week. The Wizards, as I mentioned, lost to Middletown 8-6 in a game that was called after 4.5 innings because of darkness at Gaudette Field in Middletown. The Wizards' wins have come against North Providence, Rogers, and Coventry by a combined total of 32-6. They hit the ball, they hit it well, they hit it a lot, and they are a very offensive-minded team under the direction of Rich Grenier, who's in his 364th year of coaching here at West Warwick High School. I don't think there's ever been a year that I can remember where Rich wasn't coaching something here. Actually coached with me in 1988. When I was the head coach of the Wizard baseball team, and he was my assistant.
Oh, my God. I was a junior in high school.
Mike Gallo wasn't even a twinkling in his father's eye.
He was just a little older than he is right now. Yep.
But that's probably not the only Rich Grenier age reference you're going to hear today, folks. But looking forward to seeing this year's edition of the Wizards, who bring back an awful lot of stardom from last year's team. The Knights under the direction of Luis De Leon. His assistant Charlie Holliday is a familiar name for those of you who have followed the scholastic sports over the years. Charlie, a former Mount Pleasant High School grad, who was a star basketball and baseball player for the Kilties. We're going to be starting this thing in about maybe 5 minutes or so, as the Knights, who got there a little bit late, are going through their I.O., their infield-outfield practice. And we're trying to track down numbers because we simply don't have a roster yet. Have the roster, we just don't have the lineup from Coach De Leon. Meanwhile, down in the Wizard dugout, nobody warming up yet. So we don't know who Rich is starting. He got the lineup up here electronically. But between my failed technology and Eric White's inability to access Game Changer, we're left in the dark. So it's going to be fly as quickly and as evenly and as smoothly as we possibly can until about the third inning or so, when we should have everything down pat. Do we break here, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a break.
We will break and we'll be back with more as I continue to scurry and find people around the bases. As it's high school baseball, Central's at West Warwick. We're back with more in a moment. Back at McCarthy Stadium where ground rules are taking place, and we have lineups. So we can tell you that the Wizards have set up defensively with the following defensive alignment. As you hear me shuffling papers. So the Wizards start Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Charles Brown is the second baseman. The shortstop is Jair Blanco. And Cole Kilduff is at third. The left field is Brian Brennan. We've got Luke Gallo in right and Joey Rivera in the middle for Richard Granger's team. Nick Andrew off to a solid start, hitting like 750, is behind the plate to accept the pitches of Anthony Burt. Burt, a right-hander. In his senior year, has a record of 1-0. He's only pitched 3 innings so far this season. He struck out 5 and walked none. He is the proverbial ace of Richard Granger's staff. Now, that having been said, let's try and shuffle our way through the central lineup, which has just arrived as well. Neldwy Cruz will lead it off and play shortstop. Washley Reyes Jr. will bat second and play center field. The DH is Roger Ortega, and there's your front three for Luis de la Cruz's Central Knights. First pitch is a strike as play is underway at exactly 5:01. So we almost started this one on time. Burt winds and throws. That one baits the outside corner. It's 0-2. Burt's fastball tails away from right-handers. Anthony steps off for a moment. And the 0-2. It's lifted toward right field. It's going to sink in for a base hit. Central has a base runner on an excuse me swing by the leadoff hitter, Cruz. So Walsley Reyes steps in. And then get struck by a pitcher. Is that a foul ball? He got hit. So on 4 pitches, Central comes up with a possibility of scoring. They've got one in scoring position, another one right behind, first and second, and nobody out. After De La Cruz was hit by a pitch. To the DH we go. And Roger Ortega. He fouls the first pitch, it's 0-1. That was fouled off. That was a stinger. As Ortega comes back, shaking his left hand. Angel Martinez is on deck. Now we're going to go to third, and Throw to third will be not in time, as stealing safely and precariously is Cruz. Here's the ball. One eye on the scorebook. One eye on the game. Runners are at the corners here for Central. Bird is ready. The righty deals for her off to second. Endershaw's throw is going to be in time, but here comes the run to score. The Knights lead it 1-0. The biggest part of the Central game is its running ability. The Wizards can counter that with a strong arm of Nick Enderchaw, who is generally regarded as one of the best catchers in the entire state. Pitch to Ortega. Slow roller towards second base, but he's a slow runner, and the ball is bobbled at second, and Ortega's on at first. Error charge to Brown. One down here in the top of the first inning. And here's Angel Martinez, the left fielder. Rich Brader takes a little walk toward Burt. Hey, will he make a pitching change? Grader has given the ball to Brown. It looks like Charles Brown will assume the pitching duties. So this early in the game, we have a pitching change here at McCarthy Stadium, with Central leading 1-0. All right, recess is over. We're back. Here at McCarthy Stadium, where Anthony Bird has been replaced by Charles Brown on the mound for West Warwick. Try and get you what we can on that. Brown 1-0 on the year, has pitched 3 innings, struck out 2, walked 3, has not given up an earned run, and he inherits the runner at first base. Here's Martinez, righty to righty, facing Brown, and the first pitch is cuffed foul to our right. The wind, if you could probably hear it, blowing from our left to our right. So straight to the field. There's a ball that gets by Andrew Chow, and on to second will go Ortega. A rare passed ball. Junior Rojas, a freshman, is on deck.
A what? Oh, tilt up, yeah. Just tilt up all you think.
Martinez ahead of the count. And Brown delivers. It's ball 3 down low. Not the start that Rich Grader was looking for, as there is just one out. Central has come up with 4 base runners. And the pitch goes outside, and Martinez is on base. Single hit batsman, an error at second base, and now a walk. And here's Rojas, a freshman. Robert Marte is on deck. Things keep going like this. We'll have the Central roster mastered in no time. First pitch is fouled off toward the Mike Rock field house. It's on 1. Andrew Trout goes for a pickoff at second base. The ball gets by right into center field. Here comes Martinez. Here comes the throw. He's safe. Meanwhile, on to second base. I should say Ortega to third. Martinez to second. It'll be a stolen base for Ortega. And he will reach third on an error charge, another throw to Andrew Trout. So a couple of errors for West Warwick here early. A long, long game to go. Especially with a team that's outrun their opponents. What did I say, 36-4? Yes, we are in a windstorm, folks. Pitch by Brown, misses low. Rich Grader pitches his corners. Killed up in it, that was fouled back. Gonzalez once again in on the grass at first. Kilduff had a nice basketball season. Manning third base. This one's fouled to the right side again. Brown seems to be having some difficulty with the sun. Outfield straight away for the right-handed freshman. The pitch to Rojas is outside. Curveball missed away. All night so far here in the first. Swinging, striking at him. So finally, the second out is in the book, and it's Robert Marte. Marte, yet another freshman. He'll be in right field. Again, righty to righty. Big lead at second base. There's strike one for Brown. Luis De Leon has not posted any averages, any statistics, and also swinging strike. 0-2. Brown up in the count, facing Marte. The 0-2. Pop toward right field. Luke Gallo coming in. And it's dropped behind the second baseman. Out comes another run. Central leads it 2-0. Ortega will score. That is traditionally always the infielder's ball until the outfielder calls him off. And Gallo was close enough to call off the second baseman, but yet did not make the play. The ball was dropped, and now it's a first and third situation with two down.
Excellent job, Beeves. And Aaron, you're on the guy on third. Yep. Good job catching the guy coming home.
The batter is Mark De La Cruz, and he takes ball one. Brown is ready again. Time is called to the plate. Marte ready to run at first. Martinez running at third. Runner first goes. Andrew Chow will throw it back to the pitcher. They have a man in a rundown here. Geldof throws it over to Andrew Chow, and that will end the inning. So the Wizards kept trying and finally got that third out as Martinez is cut down 2-1 to 5-2. After a wild half inning, Central 2, West Warwick coming up. We'll be back with the bottom of the first in a moment. Welcome back to McCarthy Stadium, where Central is taking the field as the Wizards get ready to bat in the bottom of the first inning. Joey Riviera, Charles Brown, Nick Andrew Chow, and then Mike Hunt, who is the designated hitter, batting in Brennan's place. Jair Blanco, Cole Kilduff, whoever came in for Burt, followed by Gonzalez, and Luke Gallo will round out the 9 for Rich Granger's Wizards. Michael Alcantara Gomez will pitch for Central as we go through our lineups, etc. Don't know much about Alcantara Gomez, except for the fact that he's a junior. Joey Riviera. First time we've seen him in center field, as he spent the first part of his Wizards career over at second base. Joey's got the stirrup look. Old timers like me will love that. There might be like 2 or 3 of us here. That's about it. Pitch one is a ball. Spells it M-A-I-K-E-L. Michael Alcantara Gomez. The 1-0. Launch left field side. It's going to be a foul ball. Wall struck by Riviera.
Good job, Jay.
2-0 Central if you just happen to be joining us on a perfect day for baseball in mid-April. Or any time, really. Interesting to see Marte, the right fielder, rather shallow out there. Pitch to Riviera is outside. Cruz tried to bring it in, but failed. It's Rojas at third, Richard Santana Cruz at short, Michael De La Cruz at second, Giancarlos Delgado at first. That's your central defensive alignment in the infield. There's a strike called. Robert Marte is in right field. Mark De La Cruz is in center. The left fielder is Martinez. Look at that. We've got a defensive alignment. Through the shortstop, this is going to go into left field. The Wizards have their first base runner on in the person of Joey Riviera. Nice try there by the shortstop, Cruz. So it'll bring up Charles Brown. Brown came in to pitch after his 3 batters. Squared the bunt, took a strike. Not a bad play. We got 7 innings to work. You're only down by 2. Why not put one down and make them play defense? Central pulls Rojas up at shortstop. And the throw to first. Not in time, no tag applied. Two players named De La Cruz, 2 players named Cruz, and a freshman third baseman named Junior. If that doesn't confuse you, then come on over and give me a hand.
They're just missing a right-handed pitcher named Lefty.
Yeah. Riviera running at first. And we're still awaiting an 0-1 pitch. This could take a while, gang. And now, Weldon Cruz wants to go over to talk to Alcantara Gomez. Here he goes, there's the ball bunted. Alcantara throws to first to sacrifice. So Brown is out. Sacrifice registered. Riviera on to second. Nick Andrew Chow, as I mentioned, off to a very hard start. 7 for his first 16, hitting .438, 9 runs batted in. A triple, a home run. His slugging percentage is .750. His ball 1 to him. Now, if Luis De Leon had a notion he would give Nick nothing to hit, especially with first base open. Ball 2 is high. What a year this young man had last season, establishing himself as possibly one of the best players in Division II. Back to second they go. Riviera's there safely. Central has a left fielder deep. Yeah, with good reason. The 1-0 coming to Interchow. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Scoreboard here gets funky because it's in a wireless system, and everybody looks at Mike Gallo and says, "Hey, where's the other ball?" I know about it, Michael. Don't worry about it. 2-1 coming. Cut on and missed in the breaking pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Riviera with a healthy lead, and he's looked back by Alcantara. Came in with a sweatshirt, a windbreaker. Don't need it. Not yet, at least. Pace of this game could dictate we'll be playing until about 9:30. Pitch to Interchow, way outside. So 3-2 to arguably the biggest threat in the West Warwick batting order. Little shade over at second. Riviera not biting. Actually extending his lead, and the runner goes. It's fouled off by Interchow. Matthew Grenier coaching at third base. Three balls, 2 strikes. 1 down here in the Wizard first. They trail it 2-0. Alcantara looks at Cruz's target. And the pitch is way outside. It's ball 4. Runner goes again. Riviera is safe. If there's one thing that Nick Interchow doesn't possess, it's catcher's speed. He's much, much better than that. That one's fly toward center field. Dela Cruz is there to make the catch. Here comes the first Wizard run across the plate. They've cut the lead in half, 2-1. Single, sack bunt, walk, sack fly. Interchow remains at first. Jair Blanco steps in. He's played a wonderful shortstop for Rich Grenier since arriving on the scene. That curveball misses Just a bit inside. It's 1-0. Central chooses to play Blanco straight away. Ball 2 missed high. Andrew maybe 2 steps off of first base. And the pitch. Ball 3 misses inside. Cold Kilduff is on deck. This one toward right field, where Marte camps under it and makes the catch for the final out. Down goes Blanco, down go the Wizards, but they do score a run on 1 hit. 1 runner left on base. After the first inning of play, Central 2, West Warwick 1.
Here we go.
Mark Delacruz offers the first pitch from Brown. It's strike 1. One. First inning complete. Central leads it 2-1. Two balls and a strike.
You went out for some reason. Pitch cam went out. All right, actually you're back.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one bent it backwards. We're full. We're going to let the home plate umpire know that the lag time between hitting the button up here and getting to the scoreboard is not the fault of Mike Gallo. Here's a pitch. Little number in no man's land. This could be trouble. Picked up by Brown. He tosses over to Gonzalez. This one down. Juan Carlos Delgado steps in. Delgado, one of the relatively few seniors on this Central team, took a strike. We're at 1-1.
Ethan, I want you to do me a favor. See where
A lot of activity here at River Point Park tonight.
see where the
Delgado now down to the count, 1-2.
unplug it and then just plug it back in.
That change missed down.
All right, excellent job, man.
Brown came in after Bert the starter pitched to 3 batters. The swinging strike, however, gets by Indrachow and on to first will go Delgado. So the central first baseman reaches on a strikeout.
Great job,
Here's Maycall de la Cruz. There's a ball. It gets by Indrachow. Hasn't sent it yet. Now finally reaches over to his right side for it. And on the second base will go Delgado. It's a wild pitch. Maycall de la Cruz is also a freshman. Brown taking his time. Looks the runner at second. There's nobody playing him, so he just trotted Brown back. Square to bunt, punched into fair territory. It takes a bounce. It's foul ball. Maycall gave it a little jab, and it hit that fat part of the lip halfway down the first baseline and carried over into foul territory. Runner at second is Delgado. Another one try, fielded by no one. It's a gut by Brown. Everybody's safe.
Says what? No screen.
It's going to be scored a sacrifice, which is what the play was designed for. That way you don't take anything from his batting average. Can't really say it was a hit because it looked like he was not hitting, sacrificing for, bunting for a hit. Walney Cruz fouls first pitch off. The central catcher singled on an excuse me swing to right field to get everything started back in the first inning. It's 0-2 now, quickly to him. John Carlos Delgado is at third. Maycall de la Cruz is at first. Centrals already have a runner cut down to the plate on a defensive steal play. But the runner goes anyway. Indrachow's up to throw to third. And a nice stop at third base. Cole Kilduff got just enough of the glove on it to prevent a run from scoring. De La Cruz advances to second. Delgado remains at third. There's one down here in the central second, and the Knights are threatening again. That one gets by Chow. Late stop and runner. Here's the throw. It's going to be close. He's out. Some good hustle by Andrew Chow to get the ball off the backstop and to toss it out to Brown for the second out. Delgado got a very late jump and is not the fastest player on this Central team either. Two and two to Welding Cruz. Brown ready, he throws, that's upstairs. Central comes in 1 and 2. The Wizards are 3 and 1. Full count offer to the Central catcher. Popped up. Blanco at short. Reaches back, makes the catch. The inning comes to an end. Knights come up empty in their half of the second. We go to the bottom of the second here in River Point. Central 2, West Warwick 1. Back at River Point Park, Central 2, West Warwick 1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Kilduff will lead it off. Colin Milburn should be on deck. We're kind of looking over now, and sure enough, it's Anthony Burt who's on deck. So that's one of those funky National Federation of High School Sports rules. Thanks to Mike Gallo for being a spotter. His eye's much younger than mine. Johnny Boots will join me back for West Warwick softball on Thursday. Have it for you starting at 5. For those of you watching on 321. then I think we're doing Cranston East and Cranston West on Friday from Eder Field at Cranston High School West. Line drive in left field for a base hit. Cole Kilduff is on to begin the Wizards' second. And again, only being the second inning, no matter where you are in the order, you can always expect Richard McBrinier to possibly put one down here. But not this time, as Bert shows nothing, it takes a strike. Ball one. Throw back to first and back safely. Kilduff beat the throw. Adrian Gonzalez is on deck. Luke Gallo will follow unless somebody gets doubled up. Alcantara ready. His offer is grounded to first. Delgado steps in the bank, throws to second. They do get a double play. 3-6 double play, a hot shot back to Delgado at first. It is thrown to Richard Santana Cruz. Right on the money to get rid of Kilduff. 3-6 on the double play, and here's Gonzalez. There's strike one. By Cal Alcantara Gomez. Working his second inning. Allowed 2 hits, 1 run, it was earned. Off speed, pitch cut on, it's 0-2. The Wizards have not helped themselves. They've made 3 errors so far in this game. And it's early. Here's the 0-2. Delgado will play it at first, run to the bag, and end the second inning. For the Wizards, no runs on 1 hit. They left no one. We go to the third here at River Point Park. 2-1 Knights. Back at River Point, where the Wizards are going to their third catcher, or their third pitcher, I should say, of the game, and freshman Mike Semena. Bird started, Brown followed, and now Semena, who is another member of the basketball team, a freshman getting some use so far in this season for Rich Grenier. Sabetta's 1-0. Pitched 5 innings, allowed 1 earned run. He has struck out 9 so far this year, has not walked a batter. Anthony Burt moved into left field. Brown moved back to second base. So scratch Brennan, scratch Milburn. It's Gonzalez, Brown, Blanco, and Kilduff in the Wizard infield with Burt, Riviera, and Luke Gallo left to right in the outfield. And if everything flies right here, this should be Richard Dela Cruz at the plate. And he takes ball 1. One. One, two. Ortega on deck, Martinez to follow. Rojas would bat 4th. Good dig by Andrew Charles. The ball went wide. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Temperature game time in the 70s. The kick, the deal. Sabetta misses high. Outfield straight away for the number 2 man of the order. There's ball 4.
I don't think he knew it.
No, Cruz didn't know. So he reaches base safely for the 2nd time in this game, and here comes Ortega. Hit a misplayed looper the 1st inning. Over the second baseman's head, no chance for Gallo to come in from right to make the play. Central for the 2nd time in 3 innings has the leadoff man on. There's a shot that was handled by the shortstop Blanco, but he had no play. Actually, it rolled through the middle. Jair tried to make the play unfairly. Couldn't come up with it. It's a lot of range for the youngster. Easily ruled a base hit, and here comes Angel Martinez. Luis Del Leon goes over to speak with him. Cleanup hitter in the lineup. Facing Mike Sabetta. Adrian Gonzalez pitched at first, but right in front of the mound. They'll go to 3rd for 1. Not the best of buds by Martinez, who put it right in front of the pitcher, and Sabetta had a play. Scoring a fielder's choice. And with 1st and 2nd and 1 out, here's Junior Rojas. So now it's Ortega at 2nd. And Martinez at 1st. Had to throw back to second base, and Ortega's back safely. Rojas struck out his first trip. And the pitch missed outside. Good little cat and mouse game going on over there at second base with the runner Ortega and the shortstop Blanco, but it opens up a lot of room for Rojas to spray the ball to the right side. Here's pitch. He goes to the right side with it, and it's going to be taken down by Brown on a nice catch. On the second base for the double play to eliminate Ortega. So a 4-6 double play ends the third inning. No runs for Central. The Knights getting the first two base runners aboard and can do nothing with them. To the bottom of the third we go. Central 2, West Warwick 1. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the village of River Point and beautiful Jack McCarthy Stadium. Constructed in 1994 for the American Legion Northeast Regionals. For you history buffs. Wizards batting here in the bottom of the third inning with Luke Gallo getting his first trip to the plate. And the big right fielder takes strike one. Gallo followed by the top of the order, Riviera and Charles Brown. If anybody gets on, Nick Andertrell will be up. Pitch to Gallo. Toward the center fielder. De La Cruz makes the catch, one down.
Good job, Jade.
Central, 2 runs on 2 hits. They have not made an error. West Warwick, 1 run on 2 hits. They've made 3.
Tilt up a little, Jack. There you go.
Joey Riviera has one of the 2 Wizard hits. A single to left field back in the first inning. For those of you who may be new to high school baseball, we play 7. Unless, of course, the score is tied. Hit on the screws to shortstop. And Richard Santana Cruz throws over to Delgado for the second out. So this should bring Brown to the plate. Alcantara has now retired 4 in a row. Brown with a sacrifice bunt back in the first inning. With the Wizards scored their lone run on a sacrifice fly by Hunt. Central scored its 2 runs at the top of the first inning and have had runners on the second and the third. The 0-1 to Brown, slides towards center field. Going back a couple of steps is De La Cruz. He'll make the catch and the inning comes to an end. 3 up, 3 down for Central for West Warwick in the third. We go to the fourth. Central's up, they lead it 2-1. Back at McCarthy Stadium, backed by Eric White and his crew from WWHS-TV. We welcome you back to the top of the fourth inning, where Marte, De La Cruz, and Delgado will lead it off for Central in a 2-1 ball game. Robert Marte reached out an error back in the first inning. He looks at ball one from Michael Zemena. Zemena, the third most Warwick pitcher to throw today for Rich Grader. Freshman wastes no time and throws the ball at the neck. 2 balls and no strikes. Cole Kilduff is at third. Jair Blanco is at shortstop. Charles Brown is at second. Adrian Gonzalez is at first. Burt, Riviera, and Gallo left to right for West Warwick. There's a strike in the heart. Dick Andrew, of course, the catcher. Two and one to Marte. Ball 3's away. Boy, with the surnames of this Central team, you can find an awful lot of major leaguers.
Oh, yeah.
Marte, Rojas, Martinez, Ortega, Cruz, Dela Cruz, Delgado, they're all there. The 3-1 bends him back, it's ball 4. Once again, Central has a leadoff man aboard. And here is Mark Dela Cruz. Little boulder back to the box to lead off the second. The only time when Central did not have its leadoff batter aboard. Gonzalez to hold on Marte. Sabetta will look back. Ball 1 is high. Luis De Leon just hoping to be able to get something going, but you can't run a Nick Andrews. I would expect an awful lot of success. The 1-0. Strike in the heart. Lights are already on here at McCarthy. Couldn't tell you why. It's been a sun-splashed afternoon. Riviera rather shallow in center field. Sabetta zips that one by the batter. Central 2 runs in the first. Warwick 1 in their half. Not much doing since. Especially for the Wizards, who have had only 1 base runner. He was cut down by a double play. Central is stranded 4 base runners. The Wizards 1. Sabetta ready. That one missed low away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. John Carlos Delgado is on deck. Bay called De La Cruz would follow. Mark De La Cruz batting here. Ticked and fouled to the backstop. Smattering of fans watching this one. As John Sterling will say, it'll be a 2-2. Late jump. Again, Sabetta looks back at the runner. Marte not much at first. Knees pitch. It's outside. And De La Cruz has worked Sabetta full. Luis De Leon taking over from the legendary Dave Hansen Sr., coached up until a couple of years ago. Payoff pitch coming. Flying ball down the line. It's Gonzalez. Looking. Ball falls free. It is a fair ball. On the second they go for the force play. Ball gets by Blanco. On to third base will go Marte. Error will be charged on the throw. The fourth West Warwick error of the game. And quickly the Knights have runners at second and third. Tough chance for Gonzalez, which is why that one could be called a base hit. And the runner's advancing out of miscue. Rich Grenier decides to pull everybody up. Kilduff, Blanco, Brown, Gonzalez. On to the infield grass. The pitch to Delgado. It's a strike. Another serious central scoring threat. They failed on the last two. They capitalized for a couple of runs in their first one. The 0-1. It's 1-1. Delgado, the eighth batter in the central order. Michael De La Cruz is on deck. Sabetta throws a 1-1. It misses away. Wizards lost at Middletown, their first loss of the year yesterday. Sabetta ready again. His 2-1 on the way. Caught him on the hands, he fouled it off. Mike Sabetta is ready. Got him on a breaking pitch. Word from De Leon to De La Cruz. Central trying to use its speed to increase a 2-1 lead. Maycall De La Cruz reached on a sacrifice back in the second. That was that little push me bunt right back to the box. Whereupon the Wizards made a miscue and everybody was safe. Neldwe on deck. One. Weldney Cruz, or Neldwee Cruz, I should say, the leadoff batter in this central lineup. 1-1 coming. Granted, Nick Andrew is a great catcher, but Wizards don't have anybody backing him and he throws back to the pitcher. Kids don't do that anymore. Infield still pulled up. Ball 3 is on the second floor. Mark De La Cruz way off at second base. No cover with Brown on the infield grass. 3-1 coming. And now a payoff coming at 3-2. Sabetta to the belt. That'll load him up. And out comes Rich Grenier. Big spot for the freshman here. Kilduff goes back to third. Grady goes back to the dugout. Andrew retreats to the plate. Sabetta left to his thoughts. Loaded with 1 out. At the top of the order up for Central, it's Neldwee Cruz. Singled in the first. Popped to short in the second. Again, the infield drawn in. Zone 1. Richard De La Cruz on deck. Here's a strike. Got him a call, strike 3. Big pitch by Sabetta. Cruz didn't like it. So now with 2 outs and the most serious rally taking place, it's Richard De La Cruz to try to save it and get something out of it for the Knights. What a great spot this would be for Sabetta to get out of. He's 1/3 of the way there. Freshman trying to make his mark. The 0-1 from Sabetta. Breaking ball 0-2. Now you don't want to be too fine here. Get a great catcher behind the plate. Catcher fishing a little bit, maybe something a little outside. The 0-2 is on its way. Straight 3 call. Got him. Great job by Mike Savetta. Central goes down without a run. There's 1 hit, 2 walks, an error, 3 more runners left on base. Halfway through this one at McCarthy Stadium, 2-1 Central. After a great effort by Mike Savannah, taking care of Central on consecutive strikeouts in the 4th inning, we move to the bottom of the West Warwick 4th. Andrew Chow, Hunt Blanco. If anybody gets on, Cole Kilduff. Central leads it 2-1. Alcantara throws a breaking ball. It's 0-1 to Andrew Chow. Nick walked in the first. Good power to all fields. That was to our right field, but foul. May Callahan Alcantara Gomez up in the count on Nick Andrew Chow. Here's the 0-2. They spoiled it. Central 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 6 left. West Warwick 1 run, 2 hits, 4 errors, 1 left. And the 0-2 coming once again to the Wizards catcher. One, two. It'll be a 2-2 coming to Andrew Chow. Nick is ready. Alcantara is ready. Ball 3 missed downstairs. Well struck into the gap in left center field. This is going to be good for at least one. On to second is Andrew Chow as the ball heads to the door between Ray Silva and McCarthy. It's a double for Nick Andrew Chow to lead off the fourth. Just a matter of time.
Yeah, no, those are yours. How much time do you have?
So Nick now 8 for 17.
Let me know when it gets to 20.
So he slides a little bit closer to the 500 mark for the season. Hunt delivered a sacrifice fly for the only West Warwick run. That was back in the first inning. He takes strike one.
Right there.
Wizards with the tying run aboard. Andrew Chow's at second base. This is a called strike in the outside corner, 0-2. Not enough can be said about the way that Alcantara Gomez has pitched. He's done a nice job through 3+. Bay called, De La Cruz called for the ball, didn't get it.
Just bring it up to me.
Hangs in. And now Luis De Leon is going out to talk to his pitcher in his infield.
Jaden, you're saying the two batteries that you have are for the other camera. Or the battery that you have is for the other camera, right? Yeah. You've got the bigger one is keep that one. That's for the wireless thing. You may need that, but the other one is for the other camera. So I'll send
This is a long conversation. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. West Warwick with a tying run at the second base spot in the person of Nick Andrew Chow. The 0-2. Fouled back.
Okay. And then take a rest. Thank you.
Then you go back to second base.
Good shot, Jack. Good shot.
De La Cruz, a nice save to keep the baseball in the infield. Once again, this one's kind of come to a crawl. We're about an hour and a half in, with about a half a game to go. Jim Alves stops in. Coventry volleyball finished for the day.
No, the net fell. The divider fell down in the middle of the gym, so they canceled. There wasn't a game.
The pitch to the third base line, foul.
It's good to see these things happen somewhere else now.
Are you serious? That really happened?
Yeah. off for lateness.
What? What's that? Yeah.
So the first one-layer day of the season is about to come to an end.
John Parenti headed towards the sweatshirt.
Yep. One ball, two strikes, nobody out. Andrew Giles still at second base. Hunt still looking for an opposite field hit. Here's the pitch. Fouled again. Spoiled again.
Good job, everybody.
Up the middle. And into center field for a base hit. Here comes Andrew trying to score the tying run. 2-2 the score. So Hunt delivers an RBI single. His second RBI of the afternoon. And West Warwick finally makes Central pay for all the near misses that the Knights have had in the last 3 innings. Central had first and second with 1 out in the second. They had first and second with nobody out in the third. And they had the bases loaded with 1 round until Zamella came in and struck out the last 2. Actually, it had been in. So now Hunt is the runner at first, and Jair Blanco will take ball 1 and nearly got him.
Excellent, Jack. Perfect frame. Jaden, let me know when you're down to 20 in that battery.
Hunt single, the 4th West Warwick hit. There's a strike.
What are you at now?
Last year we marveled at Blanco's glove
Okay. I mean, what do you...
and the way he handled things at shortstop.
Okay. What?
Hunt ready to run it first. Here's the pitch. Fly ball center field. A lot of room for De La Cruz. He'll move over to make the catch. And the first out is in the book.
Okay.
Cole Kilduff is 1 for 1. The base hit between short and third.
You want me to let you know when that's...
Back in the second inning.
I'll let you know it, as soon as they get 3 outs. This is the one sport that no clock. It's all any outs. Isn't that great? This inning could be 3 hours long, Eric. Isn't that fantastic?
Well, 1 low.
What's that? Hey, just one time with me. Extra credit for you. That's what Max likes.
Hunt maybe a step and a half at first base, not much. Ball 2 is away. Deltwe Cruz thought about slinging it on down to Delgado, but didn't happen. Two over to Kilduff. Ball 3 is outside. There's a stop throw, no problem there. Hunt back, Delgado on the baseball. A little bit of warm-up activity in the bullpen for the Knights. We can just about tell you who the Knights are out on the field. Can't tell who's out there now with the bullpen. Except that he has a 2-digit number. Ball 4. Here comes Anthony Burt. Grounded into a double play. Back in the second inning. Chance to put the Wizards ahead in a 2-2 game. They play Burt to pull. Shallow for De La Cruz. Wind is taking it the other way. He makes the catch. But on the third base will come Hunt. And now 2 down here. The Wizard fourth.
No, not yet. In between the inning, right? As soon as this inning ends. We got one more out of the inning to end. Hopefully, great shot of Luke on third base.
Gonzalez is 0 for 1. Pass ball, wild pitch. Puts the Wizards ahead. This one's charged down the right field line for foul. It's 0-1. Hunt the runner at third. Killed off the runner at first. Luke Gallo's on deck if needed, which would probably be the Wizards would grab the lead. Runner goes from first. And now we'll have to return there as the ball's fallen back. It's 0-2. Of course, Gallo could also come up with the bases loaded if Gonzalez should walk or reach out an error in which the run doesn't score. A couple of ways that it could happen. When it goes towards second, they will throw over to third, and dead at third base is Hunt. Easy throw from the catcher Cruz to Rojas at third, and that will eliminate the Wizards' scoring threat in the fourth. But once Warwick comes up with a tying run on 2 hits, they strand the runner. We go to the 5th inning here at McCarthy Stadium in a 2-2 tie. It's Ortega, Martinez, and Rojas in a 2-2 tie. thanks to Hunt's single to bring home Andrew Chow in the Wizard fourth. West Warwick softball team is a loser today. North Providence 6, the Wizards 3. Or to North Kingstown, I should say. So now Zabetta becomes the Wizards pitcher of record as he throws to Roger Ortega. 1 for 2 on the day. Looked at the second strike, it's 1 and 2.
1-2.
I believe.
I believe
I'm sorry, no, I think it's 1 and 1, Mike. I think you're right.
1 and 1.
Now it's 1 and 2. Well, you can tell Mike Gallo's listening, picking up those mistakes like butter. 1-2 coming. 2-2.
He was one of our stars in the volleyball team's 3-1 win. They're 5-0 now. 15 kills.
Attaboy, Michael. Make me proud. Liner into right field. That's going to be good for a base hit.
It's up on the scoreboard. 2-2. 2-2. Oh, that's right.
When's your next match, Mike?
Huh?
When's your next match?
Thursday.
Against?
Pilgrim at Pilgrim.
Against the Wizard volleyball team in action. So here's Martinez. 0 for 1, but he's been on base twice. Foul to the backstop. Each team 2 runs, 4 hits. The Wizards have made 5 errors. Central has made none. The 0-1. 0-2 to Martinez. Junior Rojas is on deck. Marte would follow. Ortega the runner at first. Sabetta is ready. Here comes. Nice diving stop by Andrew Chow. Am I the only person who has not applied a second layer in this crowd? Look at all the short sleeve shirts out there. Still. Pitch hit well, center field. Coming in to make the play. A brilliant play by the center fielder, Joey Rivera. Ortega returned to first. So Martinez robbed and Rojas comes to the plate. Junior 0 for 2. Hit that line drive to Brown and ended up in a 4-6 double play. This one will go into center field. That's a base hit. Riviera will pick it up and get it quickly in the infield. And again, Central with runners aboard and less than 2 out.
Get on the lead runner.
2 out of the second, third, fourth, and now here in the fifth with 1 out or less. Again, Ortega not with much. Oh, Marte stepped in the bucket. Its own room. One down here in the Central fifth. It's 1-1. Burt, Riviera, and Gallo was in outfield. Kilduff, Blanco, Brown, Gonzalez. In the infield, third to first. Let me make that Hunt, Riviera, and Gallo. No, that's Burt. A ball, a strike, and out. 2 men on. De La Cruz on deck. He has a hit. Square to bunt, missed outside. Andrew Chow nearly had a play at first. Gonzalez wasn't watching. They had Rojas. There's a strike. Two balls, 2 strikes. Critical, Central 5th. Got him swinging. Fourth strikeout for Mike Sabetta. And his 13th of the year. 2 down, now to Mark De La Cruz. The number 7 hitter in the Central order has a single to his credit. Throw back to second, back safely, barely is Ortega. Central came in 1 and 2. They've given West Warwick fits. But the Wizards have held them to a 2-2 tie. Smacked right field side, foul. If you're looking to the Wizards' 5th, it's Gonzalez, Gallo, and Riviera. There's a try again, and they get him. I think Delgado, Ortega, was paying more attention to the shortstop than the second baseman. But then Brown cut in, took the catch, and Ortega was a dead duck. For Central in the 5th, no runs, 2 hits, they strand 1. Through 4.5, we're tied at 2. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Adrian Gonzalez, Luke Gallo at the top of the order, Riviera. Checking this, Logan Fernandez up at the plate, and he grounds to second for the out. Thank goodness for Mike Gallo, because the communication from down below to up here is a 0. We couldn't have much better eyes and ears. Here's Luke Gallo, no relation. And the 1-0. Missed away. Riviera's on deck representing the top of the Wizard order. Two the score. Well struck down the right field line. This is going to be a foul ball. Had the crowd buzzing. Two one coming to one of the best defensive ends in the entire state of Rhode Island. It's a 59-foot ball right there. 3-1 to Luke. Michael says unequivocally, Luke is the best. I'm just being generous to some of the others. I think I know the same thing. He had a great season. Great career. Now trying his hand at baseball. 3-1 to him. Well struck, right center field. Lots of room, lots of gap. Luke's on his way to second base with a stand-up double. He represents the go-ahead run. The number 9 man in the West Warwick owner rips one to the gap in right center. Riviera 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first, grounded to short in the third. One down here in the Wizard fifth. Alcantara, long look at the runner, throws. Line drive, base hit in the right field. Gallo will be sent toward the plate. The throw will go to second base. The throw will be misplayed. On the second base will go Riviera. The Wizards lead it 3-2. Matt Grenier had no doubt the wheel was in motion. He sent Gallo without thinking about it. Luke scored. Joey reached second. West Warwick has their first lead of the day. It's a single for Riviera. An errant throw. And now Brown at the plate. Now Sabetta has the opportunity to be the winning pitcher. And with one out, Nick Andrich was looming on deck in an attempt to break this thing open a little bit. Sky high pop fly foul. No play for anyone. 3-2 West Warwick. Bunt try in front of the mound. Alcantara will go to first with it. Here comes the runner home. It's 4-2. And again, Matt Grenier says Motor, Joey Motor.
All right.
Riviera responded.
All right. So zoom out a little bit. There you go. You want to have the batter and the pitcher in the frame. Just a little more. Zoom out. There we go. I'm going to you more because the pitch cam is kind of.
So here's Andrew Chow. Nick Walkman doubled.
There's a lag. It's not your fault.
And he goes to right field with this one. Going back is Marte. Camped under it will make the catch.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, we have 2 outs.
And that'll do it for the Wizards in the 5th. However, West Warwick takes the lead with 2 runs on 2 hits. They strand no one. We go to the 6th here at McCarthy. 4-2 Wizards.
And we're back.
To the 6th inning we go. Eric, who do we have on cameras?
We have Aaron Leon Cavallo. Let me see. Aaron Leon Cavallo. Jaden Dion. Jack Harris. And Ethan Rose. Out on the pitch cam in center field.
We take the ball.
Yes.
Top of the 6th inning. West Warwick now 5 outs or 6 outs away from taking Central as a victim. There's a fly ball toward right field. Luke Gallo racing over, and he dives and makes the catch. The 1-star catch for the right fielder. And it brings Delgado to the plate. Mike Sabata in his 4th inning of relief. He came in relief of Brown, who came on in relief of Bird, who pitched to 3 batters. And so it went to Delgado. Bar called De La Cruz on deck as Sabata tries to navigate through the bottom 3rd of the central loader. One and two. Sabata struck out 5. Looking to make Delgado his 2nd consecutive victim, and did so. Delgado's had a tough day at the plate. Struck out in the 2nd, the 4th, and now in the 6th.
Okay, I will take it off. Can you tell Jack
So now Mike Sabetta with 6 strikeouts. Ben Dela Cruz back for ball 1. Tell you, Mike's part of the Central scorebook looks a lot cleaner than the first 3 Central innings. There were a few walks, a couple of hit batsmen, a couple of wild pitches, a pass ball, a couple of runs, all kinds of base runners. The freshman's done a great job in calming things down. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike's build reminds Wizard old-time fans of a young man named Ray Fournette, who was an outstanding right-handed pitcher back in the 1970s. Very much a similarity or two. And he throws that same fastball as well, that cutter that just floats across the plate with speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. West Warwick has taken the lead with 2 runs in the 5th. Sabetta ready, curveball, strike 3 called. Andrew Chow applies the tag. The Central 6th comes to an end. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th here at McCarthy. 4-2 West Warwick. Want to thank the young lady in the top row of the stands to our left who put a hoodie on. It made me feel a lot better about being cold. Everyone else basically still in short sleeves. Fortunately, there are a couple of stragglers now who have applied a second layer. Bottom of the 6th, Hunt, Blanco, Kilduff, scheduled. And Michael falls one back. Hunt singled the second run across in the 4th inning, tying the game at 2. Also brought the Wizards back to within 1 and 2-1 back in the 1st inning with a sac fly that planted Riviera. Strike 2. Alcantara's gone the route, done a nice job for Central. Save last inning when Luke Gallo doubled, Riviera singled in a run, and Brown sacrificed the 4th run. This one struck well, center field. Going back to Dela Cruz. It's not there. On to second base goes Hunt. Misplayed ball in center field. He looked camped under it, and then it ended up falling behind him. And now a pinch runner. Lucas Santola will run. think I saw him and his mom at BJ's Brewhouse the other night. Lucas. Still had his uniform on. We'll throw back to second. Sure, that's who it was. The backup to Nick Andrew. This one's popped up. This time it is the left fielder Martinez converging with De La Cruz. And it's Martinez who makes the catch. Kilduff steps up 1 for 1. Cole led off the second with the single. Was cut down on a 3-6 double play. Then walked in the 4th inning. He too a member of the Wizard basketball team. Nice pick there by Neldwey Cruz. Four runs, 7 hits for West Warwick. 2 runs, 5 hits for Central. The Knights have stranded 7. The Wizards just 2. Curveball missed upstairs. West Warwick will play Exeter West Greenwich Saturday morning at 11 at Wamalome. And then a big one in East Greenwich Monday, an early season battle between 2 of the leaders in Division 2. Throwbacks to second and back safely is the run of Satola. The Avengers going into today's action 3-0. Wizards going into today's action 3-1. That game at East Greenwich High School Monday at 4 o'clock. I think we might have that one for you on 3-2-1. Three and 0 now to Kilduff. Ball 4 misses away. Hunt will advance to third. It's a wild pitch. And I think this may be all for Alcantara. Luis DeLeon calling in his center fielder. And it looks like De La Cruz is going to come in to pitch. So we have a pitching change here at McCarthy Stadium. We'll be back with more in the bottom of the 6th in a moment. Welcome back to McCarthy Stadium, where we're trying to figure out what Central did right here. It is indeed Mark De La Cruz who will come in to pitch. Now we need is to have our pitch cam guy tell us who's playing center field. So we'll be strategic there. 2 is playing right field, so it must be 6.
Six. Yes. Two's playing right. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, though, because that's Martinez and he's playing left. So two is playing right. Okay, so 13 is Martinez.
Number 2's in left field.
2's in left, 13 in right, and 6 in center, it looks like.
All right, so 13 is Reynaldo Martinez. As they move Marte over to center. And Ronaldo Martinez goes to right. So the Major League names continue with the second Martinez in the lineup. Square to bunt, pulled it back, called strike. Mark Delacruz in relief of Alcantara, who pitched admirably for the Knights, but trails in this one now 4-2, and he is the pitcher of record. Runner goes down the first base line, goes the baseball, it's foul. Central came in 1-2. They played the Wizards tough. If you're looking to the Central 7th, it's the top of the order. Cruz, Dela Cruz, and Ortega. There's a pitch out. Wizard fans calling for a balk. I didn't see it. Oh, they're talking about the catcher being out of the catcher's box. And they're right. But no official call on the field. It's called the catcher's balk. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, second and third for the Wizards. Already leading 4-2. So it's fouled back. De La Cruz throws high and away. The count now full. Fernandez should be on deck. Ball 4. Will send the runner first. So Fernandez is at first. And Gonzalez over 2 to the plate. Hunt at third, Kilduff at second. Bird at first. I should say Fernandez is at first, and the pitch is ball 1. Of course, Westmore could score 8 runs in this inning and end the game 12-2. Wouldn't that be fun? One for the Wizards and their fans. Fastball, there's a strike. Big lead at second. Straight to the call. Luke Gallo is on deck. He had a big double last inning. This is ball 3. No place to put him. Ball 4 and an RBI for Adrian Gonzalez.
Yep, just stay right there, Stay right there.
5-2 West Warwick.
So, our person who's on third base, that's who you're focusing on, not on the ball. Okay?
Gallo, another fly ball. Wind blown and caught out there. Yep. By the new right fielder Martinez, but enough to send Kilduff home. It's 6-2. On to third went Fernandez. Gonzalez holds it first. Then strike 1 to Riviera. Joey 2 for 3. Pair of singles, one in the first, one in the fifth. Grounded to shortstop in the third. Ground ball to second, picked up cleanly by De La Cruz. Steps in the bag and that'll do it. For the Wizards in the sixth, they picked up 2 runs without a hit. They stranded 2, but it's last call for Central. They trail West Warwick 6-2. Mike Sabetta trying to lock this one down for West Warwick. Trying to bring his teammates back from 2-0 down to what would be a 6-2 win. And he's looking for his 5th inning of shutout relief as he faces the top of the Central order. Delwy Cruz steps in. Richard De La Cruz is on deck. Roger Ortega will follow. Knights need 4 to extend it. There's a liner right to the first baseman. Fernandez is one down. Actually, Gonzalez on the catch. Richard De La Cruz steps in, takes ball 1. Sabetta, 7 strikeouts in 5+ innings of work in relief. He stands to be the winning pitcher as the Wizards scored 2 in the 5th and 2 in the 6th to take the lead and break a 2-2 tie. It's 1-1. Mike Gallo, thank you for your help today. See you in football season. Actually, I'll see you Thursday for Grace's game. Oh, you'll be playing volleyball. We're going to have to catch your act at some point. We have to show up. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to De La Cruz. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ortega's been in trouble. He's on deck. He's reached base 3 times. He's 2 for 3. Curveball, caught him looking. 8th strikeout for Sabetta. 2 men out. Knights are down to their last out. Wizards will pull to 4-1. They will trail Middletown by a half game. They'll trail Charahoe by a half game. Chargers are off to a 5-1 start for Nolan Landy, the former Bishop Veteran Hawk. Former soap opera star, too. I bet you didn't know that one. Lashed foul, right field side on the play. The freshman, Mike Sabetta. Days of Our Lives, I believe. Yep, this again, that goes back into the 80s or 90s. There's strike 2. Sabetta now a strike away, and the Wizards are a strike away from the win. Want to thank our crew for Wizards TV to help us out in this broadcast. We'll see you on Thursday from the softball field. The pitch, cut out and missed, it's over. Andrew Shaw will go to first. The tag of the base is applied by Gonzalez, and that will be that. 9 strikeouts for Mike Sabetta in 5 innings of relief work. He is our player of the game as West Warwick comes up with a 4-run win. For Central in the 7th, no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. Your final line totals for the Wizards: 6 runs on 6 hits, 4 errors, 4 runners left on base. For Central, 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error, 7 men left on base. The winning pitcher is Mike Sabetta. The losing pitcher is Michael Alcantara Gomez. So for Eric White and the crew for Wizards TV, John Parenti saying see you on Thursday for the Wizards softball field. Your final once again here today, the baseball Wizards 6, Central 2.